All right, guys, the next step in writing a persuasive essay is to develop your supporting paragraphs, or basically tell me why we should all agree with your position statement. So remembering here, my original position was that yes, girls should be allowed to join Cub Scouts. That's my answer. Yes, we should let them into the Cub Scouts. Why? Well, those whys, these because statements, these are my pieces of support that need to develop into good, thoughtful paragraphs full of details and examples, and I can appeal to people's emotions, I can appeal to their authority. This is where the meat of your paper is going to happen. So you already remember we did a position statement right here. We found some fun facts to use as our opener. We wrote an entire long introductory paragraph, and I could even break this into 2 paragraphs if I wanted to, because there's no rules saying how many paragraphs have to be in a paper. And so now it's time to actually start writing the support. So I grabbed the first because. I already brainstormed it out. Families are camping together, sisters are there, girls are already in tents with their parents, and so I'm just going to flesh this out into a paragraph. So I'm going to pause it and then I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So it took me a few minutes to write this, and I didn't think you wanted to watch every, keystroke. So I took a break, but here are my original arguments for my first kind of idea in my paper. And it could be 1 paragraph, but in my case, I made it into multiple paragraphs. I put my font blue, and just to remind you what my idea is for this piece of support, the idea is that families are already camping, and there's sisters there, they're doing the same things as the boys, and so why would we keep them out? That's kind of the idea behind it. So when I went to go write it up into support, you can see it actually became 4 paragraphs by themselves. Those, few ideas became, I don't know how many words because it's being blocked. It's under review. Word count. That became 270 words just by itself for this one piece of support. So when you read through it, in the world of Cub Scouting, families are already camping together. That's exactly what I wanted to say. And then I give all this detail. This includes siblings. Family camping is not just for a boy and his father, it's for every member of a Scout's family, including brothers, sisters, cousins, parents, and even grandparents. All family members are encouraged to be part of the camping weekend, as family is such a major part of the Cub Scout methodology. On a particular campout, a casual observer might see 20 young boys running and playing. So now I'm creating some imagery, some visuals here to appeal to your emotions. They are getting the outdoor exercise we claim all kids need so desperately. We're appealing to some logic. They are building forts, making teams, working together, solving natural problems, and encountering real-world obstacles under the watchful eye of their parents and leaders. But the boys aren't running around alone, so there's a little bit of figurative language. They are joined by all the children on the campsite, including sisters and cousins. Young girls run and play with boys every day at school during recess and PE. These same young girls run around with their brothers and friends at home, and now they continue to do so on a campout. And I missed a comma. Let me add one in there. Nobody is telling the girls to sit down quietly and darn stockings. I could have just as easily put make sandwiches, but that might be kind of inflammatory since that's become a really offensive joke for a lot of people. The idea here is that darning stockings is something that women did back in the pioneer days. So that's a little bit of a historical allusion. They are just as encouraged to breathe fresh air and have safe adventures. Let me look at this sentence again. They are just as encouraged to breathe fresh air and have safe adventures as the boys. I'm going to put just as encouraged as the boys to breathe fresh air and have safe adventures. I feel like that's going to clean up that sentence a little bit. Spoiler alert, that's called revising. All right, mothers are leading den meetings and cooking over open flames just like fathers. Older sisters are helping corral the youngest scouts and assist them with crafts and leatherworking. Grandparents tell stories and scout leaders crack jokes around the campfire. At the end of the day, families return to their own tents where sisters sleep alongside mothers and fathers, and of course, I'm going to add another piece of revising, their brothers. And that is just one piece of support. So when I'm done, I should have that much probably, or pretty close to it, for all of this support. And this is going to end up being, at least 1,000-word paper, probably. So, a moderately sized essay. But you can see how it builds. Each of those builds in with support, and I try to use figurative language. I try to appeal to the different senses and the emotions, just like all persuasive writers do.